And now here's the starting grid for the Daytona 250. The winner of duel number 1, number 24 from London, Ontario, Brady Fletch, and alongside him on row number 1, starting P2, number 10, Derek Cope, the 1990 champion of this race. Starting in third, the three-time champion Jeff Gordon, and alongside him, Kerry Earnhardt, the son of greatness here. Cale Yarborough, the only four-time champion of this race, alongside Darrell Waltrip, who won it in 1989 in his 17th try. Kevin Harvick, 2007 champion, alongside Ralph Earnhardt. In row 5, we have Dale Earnhardt Jr., two-time winner of this race, and 1992 winner Davey Allison. Ricky Craven, whose best finish in the 500 is third, alongside Kyle Busch from Las Vegas, Nevada, never won this race. Donnie Allison came oh so close in 1979, and alongside him, another fellow who came oh so close, but this time in 2000, we have Johnny Benson. Tony Stewart never able to find victory lane in Daytona for the 500. He has one more shot, and alongside him, Jeremy Mayfield. Kyle Petty in that number 42 Sabco car from Level Cross, North Carolina, alongside Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, who came within half a car length of winning this race in 2007. Bobby Labonte was never able to find victory lane in the 500. He starts alongside Ricky Rudd, who barely made this race. And that is the starting lineup for the Daytona 250. Hello everybody and welcome to the Daytona 250 as we see Braden Fletch taking the green. 250 miles, 100 laps. And one of the biggest purses in stock car racing. We see 20 cars here. We only saw 11 in the duels. 20 cars brings a whole different dynamic to this race. We see that 24. He always complained about a tight race car in that first duel. He's still ripping that high line in that 24 car. Today's coverage will be the first 30 and the last 30 with me talking, the middle 40, where you can just hear the harmonies of those machines. That 24 gets a really good lead out there. Not running entirely the bottom. Oh, man. Maybe a little bit of indecision there on that 24 as we see Derek Cope trying to look on the outside. Oh, Jeff Gordon to the inside of Derek Cope. That 24 Chroma Premier car. That car won here back in 1997 in the Busch Clash. See the back few cars try and... if you're in those back few cars, you do not want to miss this draft as we go through the field here. You won't have to remember where your favorite driver's running because I promise in one lap they won't be running in that spot. Ricky Rudd bringing up shotgun on the field. As we go back up front, Jeff Gordon. This looks like a repeat of that duel finish. Jeff Gordon and Braden Fletch side by side. Braden Fletch leads the first 2 laps of the race as Jeff Gordon. Oh, Jeff Gordon body slammed him there a little bit. These guys are supposed to be teammates. Looking at the left side of Fletch's car. Look at that rear view mirror. Look at all that's happening in there. That's why you want to stay in front of the pack. Oh, Jeff Gordon trying to block that 24 Brady Fletch. As we see Ralph Earnhardt, he had a really good run in that duel on Thursday. He tried to look to the inside of that 29 of Kevin Harvick right there. Man, that 24, the Rainbow 24 of Fletch, he really cannot turn that car. He has to rip that high line to try and get that car to turn and carry momentum off the corner, or else he just pinches it off and it has no straight line speed. We see somebody almost already falling back. Ricky Rudd, man, look at those cars. That's not a pretty sight to see. He wants to stay in that draft of Bobby Labonte and Ricky Craven to just try anything to stay with that pack. But as we go back to the front, we see that 24 Rainbow get back to the lead. Brady Fletch, once again, Jeff Gordon now in second with, whoa! Saw one car shoot right up the track there in the back of the shot. I believe that was Ricky Craven getting caught by Bobby Labonte and Ricky Rudd. But back here at the front, oh yeah, we see Ricky Craven has dropped back. Here at the front, we have the Hendrick Super Team with Ricky Rudd. RCR, two RCR cars hooked up right there with Kevin Harvick and Ralph Earnhardt. Then we have that Robert Yates entry of Davey Allison, the Junior Johnson entry of Cale Yarborough. Then we have Donnie Allison. Donnie and Cale, last time they were like that down the backstretch at Daytona. It didn't work out for either one of them. Tony Stewart, the 0-time champion of the Daytona 500. Oh, wow, look at Junebug on the outside, really getting some headway. Man, 3 wide for Junior right there. Junior really not waiting for any time to pass before he gets to the lead of this Daytona 250. Oh, but he gets passed by the 2 Allisons on the bottom. Earnhardt has 2 family members in this race, none of which are near him. He has the 2 Allisons hooked up in front. You see Donnie going with nephew Davey. Oh, but here comes Yarborough to the inside of Donnie. Those cars, I bet you they're going to be glued to each other this whole race. Look at this. This is tremendous racing. And see, look at that 24. Let's take a ride with that 24 just to show you how much momentum he carries off of that high line. He's going to try and get past Cope right here. We look at the left side to Cope, and then we look at Jeff Gordon in that 24. Oh, it sounded like he got out of the gas there. Maybe he was going to hit the wall. I don't know. The Cope and Gordon are so, like, look at those cars. Oh, he gets really out of the gas. I just heard crew chief Robbie Loomis say, one of our teammates has lost the draft. So it'll be interesting if Fletch listens to Loomis and tries to get back on that 25 car. That 25 car's really lost the draft. Anyways, back up here at the front. That'll be a developing story for sure as we see. Oh, he drops all the way to the back. Look at this. There he is right here. Here's Ricky Craven all the way back here. Wow. Ricky Craven has lost the draft, and that Hendrick Super Team really wants to get all 3 of their cars into the lead draft. So we're only 7 laps into this race, working lap number 8. With a really good run. That car's look mighty strong. Remember in the duel, he said he wasn't showing everything. And on that last lap, honestly, a lot of people were surprised that Brady Fletch mounted that charge and got up to the front and won. Now goes Gordon, Allison, Earnhardt, Stewart, Busch, Cope, Harvick. That's your top 8. We see that 24 Rainbow car of Fletch really dropping all the way back in the back of that shot to try and get some semblance of teamwork going with Ricky Craven. I wonder what happened to Craven. He's still slowing down. I don't know if it's worth it for Fletcher to go back there. He might lose this draft only 10 laps into this race. We see that 1 and 11 car, both running that Oldsmobile body. Both classified as a 442 W30. And those things definitely make a lot of power. Jeff Gordon flying there. He had a really strong car in his duel. Oh, we see Ricky Rudd try and take a 3 wide there behind Stewart and Earnhardt Jr. We break away from this pack just momentarily. We see that 24 and 25 have both linked up. 24 Rainbow, a little bit behind that 25 actually. He's probably, I'm going to imagine, shove him right up to that front pack. Speaking of that front pack, we see Jeremy Mayfield go for second spot. Darrell Waltrip goes for fourth on those Allison boys. Darrell Waltrip and the Allisons, no love lost there. In fact, Davey Allison and Darrell Waltrip involved in a horrific crash at Pocono in 1992 that almost cost Davey a chance at the championship. A little bit of bumping there out of the Oldsmobile and that Monte Carlo of Dale Earnhardt Jr. The Pied Piper of Daytona looking for the lead. Here he comes low again. Oh man, a lot of jockeying for position back there as we see Allison, Davey Allison, I should say. The Allison boys actually splitting Dale Earnhardt Jr. there, the Alabama gang. So much movement in this pack, and I'm surprised nobody's wadded it up yet as we are 1/10 of the way through this race. Can't even see two of those Hendrick cars, and I'm sure Jeff Gordon isn't happy that that 25 and 24 are in the back. He's not getting any help from those cars. It goes Gordon, Mayfield, Davey Allison, Derek Hope, Dale Jr. For the top 5 of one at Daytona 500. Jeremy Mayfield from Franklin, Tennessee, the only man to not do that in the top 5. And we see a lot of NASCAR Cup champions in this race without a Daytona 500 crown. See that 18 of Kyle Busch. See that 18 of Bobby Labonte. That 20 car of Tony Stewart. None of those guys have their name on the Harley J. Earl Trophy. All those guys won it today. And we see those 200 cars linking up in the back at 25 and 24. They've gained a lot of time since they started working together. A lot of contact there. 3 wide, 3 rows deep. Jeremy Mayfield worked really well with teammate Bill Elliott in his duel, but Bill Elliott did not make the Daytona 250. So Jeremy's going to have to find some new help in that 19 Dodge. Look at that, we see those 200 cars right there at that back of the pack. We see the 2 Earnhardts actually. Kerry and Ralph there in that 17th and 18th place. And one thing I believe we should tell you fans, the bottom 2 finishers in this race will not make Deep Forest. Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott will be back for Deep Forest. Bottom 2 finishers of this race, they're out until the next race at Red Bull Ring. So if you finish in the top 2, you are going to be relegated for the next race. You will not be able to participate. So keep that in the back of your mind as that Hendrick Super Team brings up the rears. We see that 24 all over the back bumper, that 25 car. They're all but there. It is amazing what two cars working together nose to tail can do. Back to the front of the pack, we see Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick. And see, this is what I mean. Look out that back window. You see all those cars. Look at Harvick right there, looking on the inside. What a beautiful view. He gets a big shot from Bobby Labonte right there. Kevin Harvick won't be able to go to the inside. He'll have to play both lanes. Look at that, a beautiful view from out the front, from out the front bumper of that number 24. Man, we see that 29 looking on the inside, can't quite get it. And look right back there in the middle of that track map, we see those 200 cars. Jeff Gordon really happy to see his teammates working back up there. I'm surprised that those guys were probably 10 seconds back, and now they're almost catching on to that lead draft. 4 wide there, we see Derek Cope to the inside. We have some terrific battles going on mid-pack right now. Look at that, Kyle Petty trying to get by Ricky Rudd, but Mark Martin goes to the inside of both of those guys. He'll pick up a couple of spots. And in the midfield here, one of the feel-good stories of Daytona, that 10 car, MB2 Motorsports. He's the only Pontiac here. They only had one car coming down here. He made the 500. He's looking to make some headway. Or excuse me, the 250. Ralph Earnhardt, we saw him be extremely strong. Oh my goodness, that 24, 28, 11, and 25. They've all caught back up to the pack. Here's Ricky Craven's view, right with Cale Yarborough. You'd kill for this position on any other track. You're in 20th spot, but you can see the leader only a couple seconds ahead of you. Let's not forget Ricky Craven. He's a pretty good plate racer too. Sure, he had that wreck in Talladega in '96 where he broke his collarbone, but he also finished third here in 1997 in a Hendrick 1-2-3. This has been much the same as that first duel, as we see Jeff Gordon pretty much holding court right here in first place. But Kevin Harvick, as we say that, Dale Earnhardt Jr. dives to the inside, I should say. Trying to get to the inside of Harvick, he does. And he's going to have some help from Donnie Allison. Jr. now looking to the inside of Jeff Gordon. I thought he was going to have position coming off of that corner, but here comes Donnie Allison, sorry. Donnie Allison getting a real good run off of that number 24 car. He's getting a good push from Kevin Harvick out back. Here you see just how close they are, both in that rear view mirror and out that left side window. See Junior and Busch. Oh man, a lot of wiggling right there for Donnie. Donnie, the only member of the Alabama gang in this race to not win at Daytona. Came so agonizingly close. Came about a mile and a quarter away from maybe bringing home that checker flag in 1979. But Cale Yarborough had different ideas back then. As we see, once again, that 24 Rainbow really running that Richard Petty line. I know I said a lot of people were running that Richard Petty line in that second duel, but Fletch is really doing it. He's running completely on the top. Almost no daylight between him and that wall. Oh, we see Derek Cope looking for third spot. Derek Cope actually looking for the lead here. Let's go on board with him. Cannot get it. Jeff Gordon pulls away. Jeff Gordon, those Hendrick cars have such straight line power. The horsepower that those Hendrick engines generate, nothing to be laughed at. we are now approaching a fifth of the way through this race. Absolutely excellent racing so far, and it's good to see that 10 laps ago, that 25 and that 24 Rainbow were way in the rears, and now they've caught back up with relative ease, so that's really encouraging for other cars that might lose the draft later on in this race. Oh man, saw Cope get out of it there. I love this view. We see that rear view mirror right in the middle of the screen. We see the cars on either side of them. We see the head rattling around. This is terrific racing. Anyways, here we go. Back to the front of the field we go with Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon now trying to get passed by Kyle Busch. Kyle in that Toyota. He's the only Toyota Camry in this field. But they do have an alliance with the 18 Interstate and 20 car. All three JGR cars. Brady Fletch back to the outside of Dale Jr. and Kyle Busch, and he gets the lead, looking on Jeff Gordon. Look at that 24 ripping that top. Nobody has even ventured out there yet except for that 24 Rainbow car. Robbie Loomis, his crew chief, telling him run where they're not. Here he comes, big hit to the 24. A big hit to Gordon, rather. 224s out in front. Like, look how high that 24 Rainbow does. That Rainbow car really runs that top side. That car must not be handling well. He told Robbie Loomis that it pinches off the horsepower down the straightaway. Must pinch off a lot because he's losing a lot of time on the first three quarters of that corner. Like, look at this. Right there, he's losing time to Kyle Busch. The only time he gains time, he lost probably a car length and a half to Busch right there, but now he's going to get it all back because off of the corner, that run off the high side is electric. Once again, as I said earlier, I will be ducking out at the completion of lap 30. And I'll be coming back for pit stops in the last 30 laps. You'll be able to hear the harmonies of these engines roar. And man, let me tell you, they are roaring. This pack of 20 has not split up at all. At the start, we thought we may have seen some splitting up with Ricky Craven. But man, look at all these cars as we go through the field. Kevin Harvick, 6, Derek Hope, Ricky Rudd, Kerry Earnhardt, Jeremy Mayfield, Donnie Allison, Ricky Craven, Bobby Labonte, Johnny Benson Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr., Cale Yarborough, Ralph Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, and Davey Allison bringing up the rears of this pack. Here we are on board with Davey. You can just hear on the inside. It's so much louder when you're behind all these cars because you have all that turbulence rushing over your car. Like, look right now, we are on board with Cale Yarborough. Listen to those sounds. And on board with Jeff Gordon, you can hardly hear anything. Want to know why? He doesn't have cars on either side of him. He's really playing this race right. Ray Evernham's got to be very pleased after not getting one of his Dodges in the field. That 24 car has still been so strong 25 laps into this event. Once again, out that front bumper, you see a lot of movement there. Wow. Tony Stewart not going to help his JGR teammate. Whoa! Wow! That 24 Rainbow gave the Chroma Premier car a huge shot. Almost turned him around. But as we saw, that 20 not trying to help that 18 right now. 20 maybe trying to get to the front of Tony Stewart. Look at that pack. It's still formed. I have no idea what happened to Craven earlier. But looks like those problems are completely solved as we complete 25 laps, 1/4 of the way distance through this race. been reported by that 24 Rainbow car. Robbie Loomis said they are not getting very good fuel mileage. They might have to come in 6 to 8 laps before anybody else. That is really not good. Now, do you start saving now or do you keep going? Because if you start saving now, you're still going to be behind 2 or 3 laps. If you keep going, might be able to gap just a little bit on this field. Oh, wow. 3 wide right there with Cope, Waltrip, and Fletch. Fletch bangs off the door of Waltrip. We got pretty much 5-car breakaway right now from the rest of the pack. Fletch, oh, I thought Gordon was going to get a push from Waltrip, but Waltrip goes to the inside. Waltrip looking for the lead in this Daytona 250. Oh, man, he almost cut off Gordon's nose right there. And this pack is still formed up. Might be a little bit splintered, but like they may not be 3 and 4 wide, but we've got pretty much 20-car freight train right here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. right there. See, you can still see the leader all the way from last place. That 24 stretching out a pretty big lead. It's very impressive that he can do that when he's in clean air. Like, oh, well, I would, like I said in the second duel, as soon as you say something, the racers immediately contradict you. But that 24 looks like he's not very aero tight on that bottom side when he's not in front of cars. Or not behind cars, I should say. I think he just loves ripping that top line. I honestly don't know. Because he did that pretty much all day in the duel. And he's been doing that all day in the 500. Look at that big push he gave to Gordon right there. Gordon had to jump out of the gas just a little bit to try and keep from wadding it up. Also, look at Ricky Rudd right there. With about 100 feet left in his duel, he was out of the Daytona the Daytona 250. But he was very lucky that Bill Elliott had to jump out of the gas so he could make his way into this race. And so far, he's making pretty good use of that entry. Oh, we see Stewart shove Fletch into the outside wall right there. We saw that a lot in the first duel. We saw that right side of that 24 Rainbow car. Not exactly the prettiest. And as we enter turn 3 and come out of turn 4, that's it for me for the next 30 or so laps. I'll let you listen to these guys as we crank it up here at Lisbiz TV. I will be back for the last 30 and pit stops. And as we complete lap 69 on to lap 70, I am back. Braden Fletcher here for the final 30 laps. Nobody's come down pit road yet. Quite surprised to see that. Fuel cell in these things must be pretty large. Definitely not the 22 gallons the Cup Series runs. And Jeff Gordon, as we've seen, has pretty much just dominated this race with Kevin Harvick behind him. But the real surprise, that number 24 Rainbow, Brady Fletch, he got into the wall hard while we were in Crank It Up. Doesn't seem to have hurt the speed of that car any, though, as he's all the way up to 9th place. I'm surprised some of these guys haven't come in yet. I wonder who will be the first. Oh man, we see him jump to the outside. I don't know if that car is actually handling that well. Back to the lead, we have Gordon, Harvick, Davey Allison, Kerry Earnhardt, and Ralph Earnhardt in your top 5. Then right behind them, Derek Cope looking to get into that top 5, the 1990 champion of this race. Whoa, here comes Fletch riding the boards. Off the floor, off the boards, here he comes, trying to get to the inside of Ralph Earnhardt, inside of Davey Allison, inside of Kevin Harvick. What a run by that 24 off the high side. Now he's looking for the lead. Oh, we see that left turn signal on. I imagine that 24 is coming down pit road. Yes, he is. Any takers with him? No, oh no, no help coming into the pits. He's going to be all alone. He was out of fuel. Oh man, these guys should be into the pits soon. If that 24 Rainbow is out of fuel, or who knows, maybe we heard Robbie Loomis say he was 6 to 8 laps short. Maybe these cars come in lap 80. That might be the end of that 24's chances to win this race. Promo Premier car still out front. Ray Evernham being radio silent. Nothing wrong with that 24 car. Oh my goodness. But speaking of 24 cars, look at this. The loneliest man in Daytona, Brady Fletch, just getting up to speed, coming out of the pits. And nobody's there to help him. We saw him get back to the front with Ricky Craven quite easily earlier in this race. I don't know if that's double car speed or just single car speed. He might be able to try and get back up there, but I don't see it happening. Back to the pack, though. We got Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Jeremy Mayfield, Bobby Labonte, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. now. As Kerry Earnhardt gets split by that 11 and 28 of Davey Allison and Cale Yarborough. Oh man, and we see him get pinballed. We saw him do that a few times in the Thursday race. Now, I don't want to jinx anything, but that 24 Rainbow car, I think, is pulling away from the pack. I don't know how. But we've seen that car not be able to run up high or down low much at all because it's just too tight. Maybe that tight condition's gone. He's going to be about the full length of the backstretch ahead of him. We'll have to keep eyes on that. And look right there, he keeps it pasted down to the double yellow line. So that 24 car may not be out of the, may not be completely in the weeds yet. They were probably about equidistant from the timing lines on the backstretch last time by, so we'll see. I wonder how long it'll take for people to come in. It's been 2 or 3 laps. Kevin Harvick right back to the back bumper. That 24 car, Jeff Gordon. Gordon and Harvick been really good working buddies today. Gordon hasn't really had the help of his 200 teammates, that 25 and that 24 Rainbow car, I should say. We are just at the 3/4 mark of the Daytona 250 as we come around this time by. It's been a relatively good race for some, relatively bad for others. I'm really curious to see how long this pack, because Fletcher would have had to spend more time on pit road. This is the 4th or 5th lap. Oh man, Gordon dives down real quick. He wasn't leaving any margin for error there. All right, now the two super teams. Hendrick has 2 cars in the back. Will they be able to come out together? And we saw just a couple laps ago, Fletcher was about the whole length of the backstretch, and it's about the same. So they might not be gaining on him, but he's not losing anything to them either. So that might be a good thing. And we see Jeff Gordon out of the pits, way ahead of Brady Fletch. That's very interesting. I don't know if that 24 Rainbow car is going to even have a shot to sort this thing out. So we come on to lap 77. We see Harvick and Kyle Busch, the two old rivals, trying to do something. Davey Allison looking to the inside. Ralph Earnhardt trying to push Harvick. Those guys are RCR teammates. But no, he pushes Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch to the lead. We see that other RCR Taz car right behind him, Kerry Earnhardt. Maybe trying, I'm surprised he didn't try and join the bottom lane to try and get Harvick back up there. One thing you have to say about this series, team orders are not a factor, and that's an absolute beautiful thing to say. Oh man, that 42 gets into the side of the 10 of Derek Cope. A lot of door banging going on, just like we saw in the duels. Here comes Ralph Earnhardt, maybe looking to the inside of Kyle Busch. Oh, Kyle tried to cut his nose off, couldn't do it. He gets a shot from Jeremy Mayfield, but here comes Ralph Earnhardt with his RCR teammate on the bottom. Here we are on board with Harvick. Oh, I thought he was looking to go into the inside. And oh, wow, we saw Davey Allison nail him there. There, he's getting a really good run. He's gonna, oh, I thought he was gonna be able to clear Kyle Busch there, but now Kyle Busch gets a run off of Earnhardt. Earnhardt's gonna probably need to drop to the bottom to try and pick up his teammate and his grandson. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushing Kevin Harvick, pushing Ralph Earnhardt. No, but Ralph goes back to that high side. I don't know why he hung his teammate out to dry. Here comes Kevin Harvick. He's not wasting any time. He says, you don't want to be on the bottom with me. That's fine. I'll just take the lead from you. So I'm not surprised that Jeff Gordon had to be the second car in, rather. I am surprised that those Hendrick Chevys, 2 of them, really didn't get good fuel mileage. Like, it's been almost 10 laps since Fletch was on pit road, and these guys are still running competitive speeds. Look at that. Look at the sunshine off on those chrome rims. Off of 4. Harvick looking to the inside. Oh, here comes Ralph Earnhardt. Ralph gives him a huge shove. Oh, but Dale hung Ralph out to dry, but now he's back. Here we are out the back of Dale Jr. We see Harvick to the inside. Look at that mess. All these drivers jockeying for the inside just to try and be there when you need to pit, because you can't pit from the outside groove. 80 laps complete this time by. 80 laps. Almost at full throttle on a full tank of fuel. It once again does not surprise me that Gordon had to pit early, because he was leading that pack pretty much throughout the entirety of this race. But what is really surprising, that 24 Rainbow DuPont car, Brady Fletch, he wasn't out front all that much. And guess what? I don't think he was saving it all. I think he was running mix one the entire race. Will these guys be able to maybe make 100 laps on a single tank of fuel? That is a massive ask. I don't see it happening, but somebody might be able to stretch it. They've been running half throttle at the back of the pack this entire race. Wow, 3 wide Ralph Earnhardt. That was bold. Once again, no takers for pit road. These guys are getting exceptional fuel mileage. And now let's just break away for a quick second. We see Fletch right there, about a quarter, maybe a half of the back straightaway. Behind that man, the most dominant car in Daytona, the 24 Chrome Premium. Oh, here comes Rudd 3 wide between Labonte and Harvick. He really made that work. He gets up to second spot now. Here we are, riding right behind Ricky Rudd in that chase cam. You look behind him, look at that mess. How can anybody want to pit under green flag with that? Once again, nobody entering the... Oh, we see one person. I believe that was Ricky Craven. Yes, it was Ricky Craven. Now the 300 cars, it is proven that they got the worst gas mileage. Now, what's going to be interesting for me, we see Craven go in. He is not changing a single tire. He's only taking fuel. What's going to be interesting, can he get out in front of Jeff Gordon and Brayden Fletch? Here he comes. Oh, this is going to be really interesting now. Here comes Gordon. Gordon's going to blow his doors off. Oh, maybe not. Oh, he tried to squeeze his teammate down. Oh, man. Now those 300 Chevys can maybe get linked up. Anyways, here we are. Lead pack. Ralph Earnhardt, his first ever 250 here. He's proven that it's not just Dale and Dale Jr. that can get it done. It's the entire Earnhardt family, as we see Kerry there in 8th. I'm really curious to see when these guys pit. 84 laps on a single tank of fuel is absolutely mind-boggling. I expected these guys to come in around lap 65. Any takers this time by? Oh, I believe that's Kerry Earnhardt. Oh, that's Donnie Allison. Not Kerry Earnhardt going into the pits. Donnie Allison in that Oldsmobile. Now pulling in, and here we go. We have the Hendrick Super Team now working together. Will they be able to make any headway on that lead pack? Will they be able to maybe get out front when everything cycles out, or will it cycle out? There's only 16 laps left. Like, Fletch and Gordon spent an enormous time on pit road, compared to everybody else. Because they had to get the most fuel. These guys only have to get a splash. Less than a quarter tank, and then they're good. And here we see Donnie Allison holds up the Hendrick contingent. Here's Gordon trying to go to the inside. And here's Craven looking to the inside as well, but Craven decides not to do it. And we see cars in the pits. We have Cale Yarborough, We have Ralph Earnhardt, we have Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby Labonte, and Ricky Rudd now coming into the pits, all of them almost out of gas. When Fletch came in, though, he was on 0. These guys, maybe 15 laps after, are now on 0. They saved 15 more laps than Brady Fletch. And now it's going to be really interesting to see these cars as they pull up. Wow. Look at the lead that Brady Fletch has on Gordon. Here he comes. He rips around everybody. Now he's in 12th spot. Maybe pitting that early wasn't a bad idea. Anybody takers now? We have Harvick in. We have Waltrip, Mayfield. Wow, a lot of the cars. Only Kerry and Benson stayed out. And oh wow, they're not running nose to tail. That is not good for these guys. Now, here we go. We have Kyle Busch. Oh no! Kyle Busch is out of fuel. And now he goes into the pits, eliminating any chance he has to win this race. Now Brady Fletch speeds past. He's in first. That car's on a rail right now. Up to third. And he's probably going to take the lead before it's all over. Does he have... Look at that lead that he has. Does he have a big enough lead to maybe take this fight or this 250 crown away from everybody? There's Fletch, Benson, and Kerry in the pits. Then it goes Harvick, Waltrip, Mayfield, Martin, Allison, Rudd, Labonte, Petty Earnhardt, Stewart, Gordon, Allison, Craven Jr., Yarbrough, Cope, and Kyle Busch. Look how much time Kyle Busch lost running out of fuel. And look at that, Kerry Earnhardt and Johnny Benson released with only 15% full. You only need 15% of that gas tank. Holy cow. Here we go. That 24 is going to rip around them. But this pack is really catching that 24. I'm really curious to see if they get held up behind Benson Earnhardt, though. Here they come. Oh, he's trying to get to the inside of Johnny. Here's Johnny. He gets to the inside. Now we got Mayfield. These guys are barreling towards Fletch. Fletch holding it wide open, but look at that pack. They just accordion back together except for one unlucky soul. Kyle Busch tried to push it too long. He's now out of this race. We have a 19 car pack. We have 12 laps to go. This is going to be a fantastic finish to the Great American Race. One of the greatest races in the world. We have 19 cars still with a shot at it after almost 200 miles of racing. And one thing that we have not seen throughout 200 miles, Jeff Gordon back there in 13th place. So much work to do in just 11 laps to try and get up there and battle for that lead. He's been the dominant car on the day. Now, the reason that pack was gaining so much on the 24 but can't seem to pass him, all that energy is shoving that 24 Rainbow Brady Fletch ahead of everybody. So yeah, the closing rate was really, really big, but once they got there, they couldn't do anything with it. Johnny Benson and Kerry Earnhardt looking to the inside, trying to do anything. Trying to get just a little bit of fresh air on that front bumper. And here they come. Once again, another plane taking off of beautiful Daytona. Beautiful sights. Fletch ran the high side there. I'm really surprised by that. Here comes Johnny Benson and Kerry Earnhardt to the bottom. Everybody looking to the bottom of Fletch. Well, remember what I said. They weren't able to pass him. Well, guess what? They all just got by him. He's now back to 8th place. Maybe he's looking for Gordon so that they can maybe make some magic. But Jeff Gordon really not having a good latter part of this race. He is now in 19th spot. The driver that has led more laps than anyone today is now pretty much in last. He's last in the pack, second last in the race. Evernham is not happy. Says we should have pitted a lot earlier with our teammate. Oh, wow. Speaking of the teammate, Fletch in the wall again. Right side of that car, really not looking too good. And now we see Johnny Benson. He's been in this position before. He almost won the 2000 Daytona 500 22 years ago from Dale Jarrett, excuse me. But Jarrett got to the inside of him with just a few laps left. Now Johnny Benson trying to live out his dream, the 2008 Truck Series champion. Pleading with that car. Give me enough horsepower. Give me enough fuel. Who knows if these guys got it packed tight enough. Maybe some guys need to pit again. Working lap 93. You can just feel the intensity starting to build. That Pontiac Grand Prix with another Pontiac behind it. Excuse me, I said earlier in the race they were Benson was the only Pontiac. I was wrong. He has Kyle Petty right there. Kyle Petty for Team Sabco, Robin Pemberton. We heard Kyle furious in Duel 1. Nobody wanted to work together. Well, Kyle Petty really making sure people want to work with him now, giving a big push to Johnny Benson. Now Benson goes in front of Kerry Earnhardt in the corner. Oh, we saw that 24 rainbow on the apron there just a little bit. Mark Martin trying to shove his nose underneath that number 3. Here they come. This is playing out exactly like it did in 2000. Somebody gets under Benson with under 10 to go. Here we are. 6.5 laps. 6.5 laps until that pay window opens, and you might get the biggest paycheck of the season. This will pay for guys' seasons, or roughly 60% of guys' seasons who make this race. So Earnhardt and Elliott, who missed this race, missed out on a big payday. Look at that 24 on the outside, looking to the outside of the 6 and 25. Now maybe looking for the lead. No, he cannot keep that momentum going off of 4. He's going to get walled again by Martin. He's been walled so many times like that in the past couple of races. I cannot tell you. Wow, Martin goes looking to the inside of Benson. Fletch to the inside now, pushing Kyle Petty. Fletch and Kyle Petty. Oh, Fletch is going to push him out there like he did earlier. He did when we were in Crank It Up, sorry. And he did the same thing to Yarbrough then, too. He gives him a really nice push, actually. So, well, we still have 5 to go. Kyle Petty, Brady Fletch in first and second. Harvick third, Yarbrough fourth. Jeff Gordon actually picked up a lot of spots from 19th to 4th with only 5 laps to go, and about 5 laps as well. Kerry Earnhardt in 6th, Ricky Craven, might I say, in 7th. Ricky Rudd right there making a big charge with a push from the 25. Darrell Waltrip, Ricky Craven, Bobby Labonte, Brady Fletch, Ralph Earnhardt, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Donnie Allison, Tony Stewart, Kerry Earnhardt, Derek Cope, Davey Allison, Johnny Benson, Mark Martin, and Jeremy Mayfield rounds out this field. And there's Kyle Busch, the loneliest man in Daytona, coming to get 5 laps to go. Back with our leaders, Jeff Gordon back out in front. Remember how I said Ray Evernham wasn't that happy? He must have told his driver to go, because man, did he ever. In about 6 laps, he went from 19th to 1st. Here comes Yarborough to the inside. Cale Yarborough, 4-time champion in this race, including back-to-back in 83 and 84. Yarborough, one of the best here in Daytona. We've got 4 of the best lined up on the bottom right now with Gordon, Yarborough, Waltrip, and Rudd. All right, your friends, where you find them now. Just like Ricky Rudd just learned, getting a big push from that 24. 24 now to the outside. Door banging that 8 and the 10. We got Ricky Rudd and Derek Cope, those 2 10 cars maybe going to hook up right there. Yarborough looking to the inside of Jeff Gordon. Yarborough almost made it. Jeff Gordon pinches him off. Yarborough lost a lot of momentum there. That Hendrick Super Team has the first 3 of the first 5 spots, 3 of the first 6 spots now. As we see Yarborough and Rudd. Oh, Fletch getting squeezed back there. That's not something you want to see happen with only a lap or 2.5 laps to go on the 500. The 250 rather, I should say. Whoa, look at that run into the back of Waltrip. He got a really good run entering turn 3. 2 laps to go in the Daytona 250. It goes Gordon, Petty, Yarborough. 3 of the best names at Daytona. 1 family name, 2 of the best drivers. Ricky Rudd looking to the inside of that 42 now. Ricky Rudd makes it 3 wide. The intensity really picking up here. As you can see, they're 3 wide pretty much all throughout the pack. And now Jeff Gordon's got to be feeling a little worried. Was he pushed out too far? Yarborough right into the back of that number 10 as we see that 17 car, Darrell Waltrip. Oh man, that 24 was trying to push him, but he did not get him square, and that sent him all the way up the track. Here we come. White flag in the air. 2.5 miles to decide who's on the Harley J. Earl Trophy. Cars going into the pits. We have Kerry Earnhardt, Johnny Benson, Jeremy Mayfield, Kyle Petty. Kyle Busch might not be regulated. Or relegated, should I say. Regulated, holy cow. Here we come. 24, 17, 10, 24. I'd say those are the 4 cars with a shot at it. That 18 still looking to be in relegation station. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, side by side. Ricky Rudd getting pushed from the 24 Rainbow. Can Fletch make it 2 races this week where he comes and gets a last lap pass? Or will Ricky Rudd get his first Daytona 250 crown? Coming down to the line. Fletch on the outside, Rudd on the inside. Rudd got it! Ricky Rudd has won the Daytona 250. And that means Johnny Benson and Kyle Busch, those 2 have been relegated. Johnny Benson out of fuel. Oh man, what a race. What a win by Ricky Rudd. The Rooster wins his first Harley J. Earl Trophy. We see everybody giving him congratulations. What a race. Terrific run. Remember, in his duel, Ricky Rudd was maybe about 10 feet away from not making this race. What a run by that 10 team. What a performance. Ricky Rudd pulling into Daytona victory lane. My name has been Braden Fletcher. Thank you for watching. This has been an incredible race on LizBiz TV. We'll see you at Deep Forest.